All right, let's be real for a second. Have you ever just woken up one morning and looked at your content calendar, or maybe you were scrolling through your content feed, like, ugh, like it just gave you the ick because it didn't reflect on where you think you are in the moment mentally, but it felt like a version of your past self? Or maybe you've been crushing your content in one area, but then you realize that you're passionate about something else and you desperately want to weave that into your content strategy as well. But the thought of changing anything in your content gives you extreme anxiety because it's kind of like, what if my audience doesn't like this new version that I am? If any of that resonates with you, trust me, you are not alone. As somebody who works with creators, it's actually way more common than you think. And the really scary part is the anxiety of wanting to change mixed with the anxiety of not necessarily knowing how. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. I'm Brianna, the social media strategist that is obsessed with helping creators build a brand that feels authentic to them, at the same time earning them a full-time income off of socials. So today we're going to break down how to reset your content without having to start from scratch. Think of this as your podcast meets masterclass guide to changing direction on social media, whether you're a creator, an influencer, or a business. We're going to talk about why you might want to switch up your content and the right way to approach it, and also the wrong way, dealing with inevitable follower shifts, and how to create a content strategy that actually supports your new vision. So if you're ready to get out of the content creation rut and ready to fall back in love with your creativity, let's get into it. So first things first, let's go ahead and acknowledge the pain point. The reason why this shift is going to feel so hard for you is because you've already spent so much time trying to build your existing audience and your credibility. You've put in the time, the effort, and maybe even some money to get you exactly where you are today. And the idea of jeopardizing that to make a big change that you don't even know if it's going to pan out, completely terrifying. I understand 1,000%. And the common mistake here is to think in the extremes. Either I stay this way as I am forever and potentially burn out, or I have to delete everything, make a new account, and start from zero. Which this is not the reality, but it is a surefire way to get you stuck in that analysis paralysis loop that we were talking about before. The core problem is wanting to change your content direction without a clear roadmap or a strategy on how to do it. So let's start with the why. Why do people even think about changing their niche or their content or any of that stuff in the first place? And honestly, it's just a natural human reaction. As humans, we are meant to evolve. We're meant to learn more. We're meant to do more than we did yesterday. We're constantly taking in more information. We're constantly picking up different hobbies. So it's only logical that eventually, whatever your niche or your content focus is, will tend to shift based off of whatever it is that's going on in your life. And hear me out when I say this, no matter what, the biggest thing that matters is your happiness. If you're constantly making content that doesn't make you happy, you're going to get burnt out and your audience will notice and all of your analytics will drop. And ultimately that's just going to make you miserable because your income drops on the back end as well. Now, another reason that I feel like might be a little bit more common and why you should be shifting your content is because if your audience is starting to come to you for something different than what you originally expected. So you might be known for A, but then people are asking you for B, and you really want to talk about B, but you're known for A, so you feel like you're boxed in. And honestly, the last alternative is it could just be a business decision. It might be, maybe I'm not making as much money in this area as I can in that area, so I need to shift. Now, this brings us back to the age-old social media debate of having a niche. This is exactly why I tell my creators, don't box yourself in. Don't necessarily stick to a niche. Your niche should be your personality. And if it's not, perfect, this video is for you because you need to be pivoting your content to where no matter what it is that you're interested in, your audience still wants to watch it. So going forward, think about what you want to be known for in terms of your personality versus thinking about what you want to be known for in terms of your topic. To use myself, for example, I used to focus solely on talking to creators about SEO, hooks, call to action, talking points. That's all I would talk about. And then I realized I don't want to just talk about how to make content anymore. I want to talk about everything social media related. So I shift my focus from talking about these specific topics to pulling in what I wanted to be known for. I just wanted to be known as a good editor, and I wanted to be known as somebody who can talk to you like you're having a conversation with a friend, not like I'm sitting here teaching you and lecturing you all the damn time. And when I made that shift and I opened up my talking points, that is when the money started to roll. That is how I saw those 30K months, how I get consistent 10K months. So now that we got that covered, deep breaths. Here is the biggest question that most creators face when they're trying to switch up their content strategy. Do I start over with a brand new account or do I shift my current one? And I'm going to give you the answer that you probably don't want to hear, but it's honest. It just depends. But based on what I've seen with working with tons of creators, in general, I lean more towards sticking with the platform that you already have, because one page is already a lot to manage. And I would never just tell you completely abandon that page and then 100% focus on the other. Typically, what we do is we will create a new page, keep your page, and we will run your videos on both profiles, which, like I said, that could be a lot to manage. Plus, if content creation isn't your full-time job, it could also lead to you being overwhelmed. So that just leads us to the other option, which is slowly shifting your new content on your current page. It's totally possible. You just need to know the right way to do it. So what does the right way look like? And well, honestly, it depends on your goals, but the one thing we are not going to do is just instantly start posting new content. Imagine you follow somebody for fashion tips and then the next morning, bam, motherhood content, 100%. Do you not understand how jarring that will be for somebody? What? I would instantly unfollow somebody. But if you want your audience to go on this journey with you, you need to have a more gradual shift. Take some time to think about your interests and figure out how they can go into your current content. So for example, let's use the fashion example, right? So say you just found out that you're a mother. Well, you don't just find out, but say that you just find out that you're going to have a baby and you want to shift from fashion content to motherhood content. Let's talk about maternity fashion. Let's do try on hauls for women who are 3, 4, 5, 6 months pregnant. Do that type of stuff. So merge the two worlds together. And then what you can do, the more you talk about your pregnancy, you can slowly drop off the fashion content. And don't sleep on polls. Ask your audience what they want to see. Let them know, hey, I'm interested in posting about this and I don't want to post about this anymore. Is that something that you guys would be interested in? And a lot of times, especially people who aren't creators, will tell you what they want to see on their timeline. So you make content that you're interested in, but cater to your audience. No matter what you have to do, you have to communicate that to your audience. This is where a lot of people see an extreme drop off in their following, is because they did not communicate any new interest to their audience, and their audience ends up saying, wait, what was the reason why I followed this person again? Oh, I don't remember, so let me go back and unfollow them. Now, this doesn't have to be a huge production announcement. It could just start off, one great way that it could start off as a series. Hey, I'm trying this out for 30 days. I want to see if I'm interested in this. And if you're nervous about this announcement and you think that you're going to get a lot of fluff and hate about it, you're not. Think about it like this. Majority of people don't really care 100% about your content like you do. They are just living their own life. So do whatever it is you want to do and do what makes you happy. People aren't really going to care as much as you think that they will. They just want to make sure that they see good quality content consistently from you. Now, will there be some people who will just be like, you know what, I'm just completely not interested in this, and they'll unfollow you, but people unfollow you every single day. You just don't notice. Speaking of people that are dropping off, let's talk about the elephant in the room right now, losing followers. As you change your niche or as you change your focus, this is something that you need to be prepared for. This happens in real life. You lose friends based off of whatever your current interests are, and that's just the circle of life, babes. So here's the critical mindset shift that I need you to have. Losing followers who don't resonate with your content only makes more space for those who do. The person that you're actually targeting with your newfound content will find you. And that person is going to be way more engaging than the person that left. Think about it like this. Would you rather have 10,000 followers who don't engage with your new content, or 5,000 followers who 100% engage in your new content? I already know the answer. You would rather have the 5,000 followers. Not only that, brands would prefer you have the 5,000 followers. Not only that, if you're selling digital products, you're going to want to prefer the 5,000 followers. But like I said, if you do something like start a series, that dip will be a lot smaller than if you just rip the Band-Aid off overnight. Don't go into your niche shift without creating some sort of plan. We've already thought about what type of content we want to post now. So here's how you're going to plan it out. Start with an audit of your current accounts. You want to look at the content that you currently enjoy creating. Then look at the content that has performed well in the past. See if there are any common themes between the two. And also look at the type of content that you are creating regularly now. Is it photos and is it just photos and you want to make videos now? Are you doing just videos and you feel like a carousel will reach your audience better? Are you just doing 15-second clips and you want to talk more and add your personality? Whatever it is that you're currently doing, what more do you want to add to that? And you want to make sure that you're being objective with doing this. And the best way to do that would be to talk to somebody else. Ask them to look at your content and provide those same questions that I asked you and see if your answers match up with theirs. And shameless plug here, if you need a social media audit, I conduct social media audits and I do content strategies. So if you wanted me to do all of this for you, I could just check my Stand store. I'll put it in the description of this video, but let's get back into it. Now that you have your new interest, we need to move on over to your content pillars. Content pillars are just the core themes or key topics that you want to be known for on social media. This is not your niche. These are just broad themes that you want to talk about. Another content pillar could just be DIYs, DIY. Another content pillar could be DIY. Say if you like to get crafty, you can DIY anything. You can do DIY home decor. You can do DIY arts and crafts, DIY gifts. You see how it's like there's so many things that fall under these content pillars versus having a niche would mean I only talk about DIY stuff. No, just make it a pillar so you can talk about other stuff as well. The reason why I like to have these types of themes is because it makes it easier to come up with content ideas. So now we have our idea, we have our content pillars, now we need our content ideas. For every single content pillar that you have, I want you to write what are you interested in this topic. So what I would suggest is spending at least a week just creating these subcategories, just creating these content ideas. As you're scrolling on socials and you find inspo and you say, oh, I like the way she did that. I would love to put this under this content pillar. Do that for an entire week before you start pushing out your new content ideas. Now, beyond just your content topics, a shift may mean a full entire rebrand. Now, depending on what type of creator you are, this can involve new colors, new logos, a different name, or even like me, a whole new website. So if you're doing a complete rebrand, this is so cool because you can start teasing it in your stories. You can get people interested in your rebrand way before you even post about it. This is the best strategy. I just thought of that. Yes, why not? That's a great strategy. Start teasing about it in your stories before you even post about it on your socials. So that way your audience feels like they get like that behind the scenes feel. Now, another thing you can do when you're doing a rebrand is to make sure you change your profile photo. Switching up a profile photo is the best way to signal to somebody that I'm switching up my content a bit. And if you have multiple social media platforms, whatever you do on one, make sure they all look the same. So you want to do the same on the other platforms as well. This will help your brand identity. So somebody can say, I don't know Ashley on TikTok, but I know her on Instagram. Wait, this is the exact same profile photo. This has to be the girl I know on Instagram. So you know how you're doing your research for your new content ideas and things like that for your content switch / rebrand. While you're doing all of that research, obviously you don't want to post your old content because that's not something that you're interested in. What you can do is you can just repurpose that old content with your new content ideas and themes. So what this can look like is you taking B-roll of your old content, but then using text on screen with your new content themes. So give you an example about the fashion creator that turned into a mother. We have B-roll of all of her fashion clips, and then the text on screen can say something like, she doesn't know it yet, but she's not about to fit into these jeans for another 9 months, right? So that kind of teases the fact that we're moving into the motherhood content, but we still have that fashion essence to it. So you can do something like that while you're in your research phase. So I know this was a lot, but let me wrap it up with a clear game plan that you guys can steal. If you're feeling that pull to reset your content, here's going to be your framework. 1, get crystal clear on your why. Why do you want to change? Is it for personal reasons? Is it based off of your happiness? Is it business reasons? Or maybe it's an audience demand. And then what do you actually want to be known for in terms of who you are as a creator versus what type of content you put out. Then you're going to conduct a content audit, or you can pay me to do it. But you're going to grab a friend and look at your existing content. What resonated with you? What performed well? And this isn't necessarily about judging. It's about finding the clues that'll help you bridge the gap between your old content and your new. Then you're going to define your content pillars. Based on your interests, your research, and your audits, you're going to create 3 to 5 content pillars / content themes for your refresh content. This is going to serve as the foundation for you. And from those themes is where you're going to build your content bank. Even while you're scrolling, pull inspiration. Even while you're scrolling, pull inspiration from the creators that you see that are already in the niche that you want to go into, and jot those down. Now, once you have your content bank, you're going to decide on your transition style. Will you slowly weave into your new content as I suggested, or are you just going to do a complete shift? Now that we have our transition style, did I say transition before transformation? Either way, now that we have our transition style, you're going to plan your announcement. How are you going to tell your audience about this shift? Are you going to do it in your stories? Are you going to go live? Are you going to make a series out of it? You get to decide. But ultimately, you want to be clear on what they can expect from you as a creator going forward. Once you have that mapped out, you're going to update your branding on all platforms. The best way to update your branding, I say, is to change your profile photo or to switch up your bio a little bit. Some people change their handle. I don't necessarily always recommend that, but if that's what you want to do you. Boom. So next we are going to embrace the follower fluctuation. Prepare mentally for some followers to leave. Think the best case scenario all the time. Some followers may leave, but you know what? You might get tens of thousands of followers overnight. We've all seen that happen before, so it's not too unrealistic to expect. Then you are going to build consistency with repurposing. Go and find your old content. Is there any B-roll that you can incorporate with your new content, especially while you're going through this whole transition phase, especially while you're researching all of these content ideas? And then lastly, you just analyze and adjust. Same thing you did with your audit. Figure out what's working, figure out what's not working, figure out what you like to do, and figure out what is the link between all of those things. What's the link between what you like to do and what's working? Let's just say that resetting your content isn't about starting from zero. It's about building on the foundation that you've already created. It takes planning, it takes intention, but at the end of the day, it's 100% doable. So let's chat together in the comments. How do you feel about your current content strategy? Are you feeling like we got to switch it up a bit? And if you are, then what's the biggest fear from holding you back from doing that? Is it the planning? Is it the mindset shift? I would love to help you out. And if you made it this far in the video, I'm pretty sure you're probably thinking about switching. So let me know how I can help and support you. And I have no problem with doing that. And if this video helped you feel a little bit less stuck and makes you feel a little bit more empowered, do me a huge favor and click that like button. This tells me that I should be making more videos like this. And if you want more insights on building an authentic, thriving brand on social media, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping a video every single day this month to help you ditch the confusion and make content that you love. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And just remember that your content is allowed to evolve. And you got this. I'll see you in the next video. Love you.